Good afternoon, everyone. I'm back at Munich Airport again, and this time we're going to do Lufthansa Redux. Yes, I am somehow able to find a new Allegris class, business class product on Lufthansa. I'll be flying to San Francisco as a part of my long, really late night trek back to Seattle. So I'm going to check in over there at the security counter. I've got a few hours to go and burn off here before I go and board the plane. So we'll see how this edition goes. You guys probably have seen my previous video. I'll link that down in the comment down section below. And let's get through security, shall we? I've made it through security and now on my way over to Hotel 6. A quick tip for those that are flying Lufthansa: I do not recommend this lounge that is past the immigration. So for those that are traveling outside of the Schengen area or outside of the EU, I do not recommend this particular lounge because I've been in it and it's super crowded. The one that you're seeing pictures just previously, that will be with the pre-Schengen or pre-immigration area. So recommend that other lounge as opposed to this one. Although it's kind of the same when it comes to food quality and stuff. I mean, it's just a quick stop more or less. And now we're going to go to the gate and start the boarding process. We will be boarding this lovely A350 on our way over to San Francisco on flight number LH458. We're going to be pretty much with an on-time departure here. Look to Kappa. Wow, these are the real suites. But here is my business suite and seat 2 Kappa. 2 windows, extra stowage, 2 bolt holes, a massive screen, and what a wall this is here. So yeah, we'll go into the seat in a little bit more detail. I'm going to get settled in here and we'll be on our way. What I'm going to do is go through some of the exterior portions. I will go through each of the bins. There's more stuff down there, which you'll see in a little bit. I'll also go through the extra cabinetry behind me. And lastly, I'll go through the in-flight entertainment screen. And then later on tonight, we'll check out the bedding. Also check out the other laptop here, any other fancy controls, and little kits and gadgets here and there, but also a few details I've noticed just when I've started to look around. But let's get into it. Let's start with the coat hangers. Look at this. So you even got a mirror, and then you got a hanger on the top. I just hung in my sweater just because, well, that's what we have there. Now, I found this extra storage compartment fits a lot in here. Like, I was able to fit all the extra sleeping gear, and in fact, I could probably fit into this pretty snugly as well if I wanted to, but for the sake of today, this tutorial, yeah, that's an extra cabinet. Not only that, it's also a cabinet here too. I have an extra spare ball cooler, and you can go and put an extra set of, well, stuff to put in there. We've got, of course, the IFE, the safety brochures. I'll talk about this in a little bit. Extra storage on the side here. Then we've got your seat controls. This controls the lighting. Shut out one more time. There we go. You have to press it a little bit firmly to adjust the thickness of your back support, and then of course the lie down or the lie up. Then as we go a little bit more forward, even more bins. Yeah, I've placed quite a bit of junk in here. My junk, that is, just to be clear. You can find a ton of space. I mean, this I would say is at least 1 foot downwards, and yeah, you can fit a lot in here. I mean, very snug and secure. Now in here, we've got extra water. We've got still, and then some sparkling for those that prefer to have a little bit of spritz in their life. Talk about this in a little bit. Then we get to the interior cabinet here. I placed my own power cords. As you can see, I've just got lots of junk. But we'll talk about the amenity kit here in a little bit. Got the noise canceling headphones that are wired in. I think this will also go and plug it through the gate over there. You've got USB-C and A, one of each, and then you've got your multi-plug outlet. I think this is for extra headphones. I'm not sure what this is about. And then we've also got an additional light that can be powered on. There are 3 settings, so light, medium, and off. Extra set of headphones here. I'm not entirely sure how to exactly open this, but we'll see how it goes from there. Got an extra reading light and an air vent. Yes, this is an air vent. You can think on top of the air vents that are also on the top. There's extra reading lights. This one's working, but you really only need 1 extra. I have not quite been able to figure out how to get this to fit the actual suite to fully close. We're about to find out pretty shortly here. I think there's a little bit of troubleshooting that needs to happen. This rolls down all the way to the bottom, as you can see. Quite nice. Light vest below. And then, of course, the other laptop screen in a place to hold your glasses, which I'll be taking off here once I get my contacts off and once we're ready for bed. So there you have it. That's your internal seating area. As you can see, there's just a lot of places to go and store stuff, and those that know me, I just carry a lot of stuff with me. Whether it's really important or not, yeah, I can pretty much fit it in all these different places. Let's talk the electronics. So we have a wireless charger here, and note, if you do have a case, it won't really go through the case, but it will if you take your case out, as I've seen here. The next thing is, I'll talk about the noise canceling headphones. AKG brand, so that's a German brand. These worked okay. I think they're definitely better than what you'll get with US Airlines, like better than United Polaris, that's for sure. Then let's go to the in-flight entertainment screen. I'll navigate through this screen for right now, but you can navigate through this touchpad. So let's go here. this is one of my favorite things aboard the plane. You can see the front of the aircraft. And then I believe there's also a tail view. Yep. Left engine, right engine. I don't even know where they're mounting these cameras. Right below the aircraft, right on the tail of the aircraft. Yeah. That is such a fancy thing. I just love that as a person in there. There's also your flight information, which I believe is Panasonic Flight Path 3D, which is a slightly newer version of the 2D, and it's quite handy. As you can see, it'll clearly show we're just going to go over around Iceland, through Greenland, and then all the way down through the western side of Canada into San Francisco. Notice you can also navigate through your seat back panel. Right, X entertainment. What do we have for movies here? So, let's see. Okay, so the way how we do this, and I'm just gonna say what the heck. All right. Okay, this is similar to the selection that you get from the United States. Now, you might ask, why am I watching international? Because again, I think this is a fairly good selection. Yeah, this is a pretty good selection here. So, is it as comprehensive compared to, say, like Delta and United and the U.S. Airlines? I'm not sure. Jury's still out there. All right, the first little spritz has come in. They're here. Got Parmesan cheese, olives, and of course some smoked tomato. The cheese. It's a good Parmesan. I'm in a good mood all day. Being excited to fly in this class. And so far, it's been a pretty good experience. Flight attendants actually call me by my lap. They just call me Mr. Lee, which, you know, those are little touches. But you'll see in a little bit where consistency doesn't may or may not fall. But for now, it's been pretty good so far. And speaking of consistencies, right? So on the previous flight, I was able to find how they sometimes will write, right, the passenger. This flight attendant, the card's fantastic, but again, consistency. But they're still just trying to get used to the class, so I'm not getting ding them at all for that. But again, just a few things to note. And another thing as I'm going through here, notice the finish. This should go all the way. Not sure, I can't remember who's manufacturing these seats, but this panel needs to go and butt up all the way. And then I've also noticed too, Airbus adhesives, but that's interiors. I know the type of adhesives that are used there. That's on the manufacturer, that's not on Lufthansa for that. Just saying. I am playing with the heating and the cooling functions of this seat, and I have the heat on, and yeah, heat is on. It's kind of like the heated seats that you get in a car. That's kind of the feel of this heating. And then as I go, and now I flip to the cooling side. It's probably going to take a minute here, but I was trying it out, and the seat just cooled off like, I don't know, say it wasn't instant, but it was pretty quick. And that might suit me really well when it comes to napping, because I tend to sleep really hot, and if I'm able to cool the bed down, yeah, these sleeps might be better than, well, what I'm used to. So yeah, some nifty things as it relates to this cooling. But oh yeah, now I'm starting to feel the cooling here, and it's real. it's different. Let me put it that way.
As you could probably tell from the video, my audio quality sucked, partially because I am too lazy to go and have a microphone. So I want to talk a little bit about the meal experience with the Lufthansa class. I will say avionic drinks are amazing, and I certainly had enjoyed it, as you see me go in palm at above. And then going towards the appetizer, I believe this was a smoked duck, if I recall. I'd have to double check on that, but the appetizer was actually all right. I liked it, and it was more than satisfactory. Definitely no complaints there, although the presentation of it didn't look all that great, but it actually tasted a little bit better than what it looked. Then the next part is the main course menu. And the main course menu has asparagus with veal and some potatoes. And for those that don't know, in Austria, it is asparagus season. I mean, every restaurant that I went to, they just kept going and just selling bunches of asparagus dishes, which I love asparagus, but yeah, for those that know the effects of asparagus, yeah, that may not be the best for some of those folks, but it was delicious. And the asparagus was well done there. The meat, the veal was a little bit on the dry side, although I would say it's all right. And then the baked potatoes were just okay. It wasn't the best of potatoes that I've had, but it was definitely passable. Then we had the desserts, and as you could probably see here, I mean, it was kind of there was the strudel, which was okay. It felt a little bit dry. The chocolate was passable, and then you just had that really small bowl of fruit. Nothing to really write home about. I honestly expected a little bit of a better dessert selection, but then again, I have kind of a stickler feeling when it comes to Lufthansa catering, as my previous flights on them were not the best experience, and so I wasn't really having a lot of high expectations from the dessert side. There have been definitely better dessert selections that I have had from other airlines compared to Lufthansa. Let's talk about the amenity kit. It's from Porche, which obviously very German, and I had a little bit of trouble with getting these tabs out, as you go and see. Opening up the amenity kit, we have, well, quite an interesting bag design. There's kind of this foil interior that goes about it. You get a peppermint, then you also got some earplugs, some of the disposable or the environmentally conscious toothbrush and toothpaste combo. Then you also have the towel, as well as some of L'Occitane creams, both lip balm as well as a face cream. Additionally, as you start pulling out here, there's also this covering for the headphones, and also a pair of socks and an eye mask. You will notice that with this eye mask, there's this little bit of a string that you have to kind of go and detach apart. A little thing, I wish they didn't have to tie that together, but guess that's how you go and pack eye masks. But overall, again, showing kind of the interior of the case, which is kind of this insulation kind of a look. I'm not sure what entirely this is for. I mean, it's pretty cool. But that's, again, it's a unique thing, I guess, for these amenity kits. It fits everything that you need in there. And overall, a fairly interesting amenity kit in terms of the bag itself, but the amenities alone are nothing too special to go and monitor.
Okay. This lever here is where this door pops out. Just to show it. Right. This latch here pops out the door. This is where you go and slide it. This is where this top portion slides back, but then you have to climb over this. And that's kind of a seat design issue that, again, consistency, right? I don't know how else to really call it, because then it's like one thing's amazing, and then another thing's like, you know, the little details do matter. Like these PJs, for example, I did not expect them to provide PJs on this flight. Most European airlines don't provide PJs for under 12-hour flights, so I mean, I'll take it, don't get me wrong. But this is what it looks like if I just do a panorama of what feels like an enclosed suite for only a regular business class ticket price. I mean, the hard product, I think, has been really good so far. You know, yeah, and another thing. There's only one lavatory working for all of business class. The other lavatory is not flushing right. So, yeah, again, there's like the little things that are amazing, and then the other little things and other things that happen that aren't amazing. That's going to be the story so far, and I mean, that's been kind of consistent with what some of the other bloggers have been. I know a couple of the famous channels have flown in this business class scene and with mixed reviews, and I guess my experience so far has also been that too. Let's go and explore the bed a little bit. So, from here, you can see my legs. It's a good amount of room. And if we go and lie down flat, there's actually quite a bit of space, as you can see here, between my head. In fact, there's actually quite a bit of room. So I'm, for reference, 5'11", and there's a good amount of wide space and also length space here. And so the bed setup's actually quite nice. Now what you'll notice, and you'll now hear me here, is the devil's in the details. And where I have in terms of the midpoint is certainly challenging, to say the very least, where it's either I have to be really far forward in order for my sit bone to be in a comfortable position, or I'm having to go and put my head right against really close to the board here. So it's kind of a mixed thing for me. That's something I'm probably going to have to play around with a little bit more, so it'd probably be more effective for those that are slightly on the shorter side as opposed to on the taller side. So that's something to consider, but I've already took a quick nap of about like an hour or so, and it's pretty comfortable. I would say sleep's a little bit cooler compared to the Polaris class, but there's also heating options. You can actually keep the seat heated. So overall, relatively comfortable. As you can see here, it's a pretty good amount of sizable room. Right, some business class seats I get really cramped in this way. So this is definitely a step from the previous Lufthansa product. Actually, it's a massive step up. And there you have the bed setup. And then they're supposed to bring around some additional snacks. I already grabbed some in the back. There was some ice cream. Service so far has been really good.
Let's talk about the breakfast, shall we? I have to say the service was amazing. So, by the way, I need to give the credit to these flight attendants who were providing amazing service. Now, when we go and take a look at the food, it looks better. than it really was. I will just say that outright. When I went and took a first taste of, I believe it was the salmon, oh God, I do not know why I chose that. Coffee was, well, coffee. It wasn't anything that was super special. Dallmeyer coffee is, in my opinion, not the most attractive of all the coffee options that you can get out there, but, well, you got to keep it German, so it's a German coffee. It does the trick. And then you could also see they provided a pretzel bread, and I also asked for another bread on the side. Overall, I would say this breakfast was, frankly, a little bit underwhelming. I mean, you take a look at it, everything looks better than it actually really is. And the serving sizes, as you can see from the plate, really not that big. And you see me going in and taking a little bit of a bite of there, and there was definitely some sourness to it. It was not the best thing that I could have for breakfast. I mean, it'll certainly wake you up, that's for sure. So yeah, the breakfast is nothing there to write home about. And it certainly was, I wished for a little bit of a better offering from the breakfast. One thing of note I forgot to mention about is the table. As you can see, the table goes all the way to yourself, but I will note that this does not lock in, so there's no locking mechanism to the table. So something you'll have to be aware about, but it pushes out more than enough. There's plenty of room to be able to get out. The only way to really lock it is if you go and lock it into the lock position for stowed. That means you can go and bring out a few things, so if you want to have a few drinks and stuff. There you have the table. I'm now terminal side in San Francisco International Airport. Very lovely Sunday evening. It's hard to see, but there's the A350 plane that I was just on, going through customs as well as immigration. When you have global entry, makes things nice and easy. But the one bummer is that I was not able to get into the Polaris Lounge for the transfer. I think that's a little bit wrong. They need to go and fix that. Those ladies were very nice, but that's not how Star Alliance works. So, but I'm not gonna fight over that. But that being stated, overall, I've had kind of mixed experiences with this Lufthansa business class product. I mean, there's things that are absolutely excellent. In-flight entertainment, the customer service, the flight attendants were amazing. They called me by my last name. Mr. Lee doesn't get old, believe me. And yeah, there's a lot of things I do like about the seat, the hard product. The food was kind of a mixed bag. The dinner selection was great. The breakfast I really didn't care for. And frankly, I mean, it's just, there was something about the sourness of one of the sauces that kind of put me off. But overall, I would say the experience was definitely better than the other Lufthansa flights I've had. Again, crew was really nice and a very pleasant flight. I was able to get a couple of hours of sleep in, at least for a quick nap, before I've got to now go to the economy section. But I mean, that's kind of how things go, right? So I'm heading over to the F Gates United Lounge here, and we'll do a little bit of work, get some food in me, and then
I'll be on my way back over to Seattle for what's going to be, yeah, not going to sleep until about 1:32 a.m. in the morning. That's just how these travel bits go. And now I'm happy to be home for Memorial Day. So that's a recap of Lufthansa Polaris, not Polaris, the new Allegris business class. I'm mixing up Polaris and Allegris. That's how tired I am. And if you like the content of this video, of course, hit that subscribe button down below. Also, hit the bell notification. You'll get the latest and greatest of updates as I go and travel through this San Francisco concourse. They need to go and get this new concourse built. This is going to take another 2 years knowing American construction. So there you go. Hit the comment down below, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification for all and any future videos. And until the next one, Yoshi out.